been in Madera all my life.
Okay, very good. Glad to have you aboard.
Thank you.
Ladies, are we ready? Veronica?
Commissioner, you can start.
Okay. Do I need to start over? Okay. Call to order the Civil Service Commission for Tuesday, November 29th, 2022 at 5:30. All board members present, and if you will introduce yourself again, please.
My name is Beverly Iverson. I live in Rolling Hills and I've lived in Madera most of my life.
Glad to have you on board.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll go on to item 1, public comment. Is there anybody here wishing to speak that is not on the agenda? Seeing none. Move on to now item 2, consent calendar.
I move for adoption of the consent calendar.
I second it.
Might want to turn these mics down a little bit. They're kind of hot. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar. Roll call.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to approve.
Thank you. Item number 3 is a regular business. Item 9148 is scheduling conference for a hearing for SEIU. Please introduce yourself at the podium, please.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. James McCann on behalf of the County of Madera for this matter. And I believe that a representative for SEIU will also be attending, maybe via Zoom. If not, I have met and conferred with opposing counsel in this matter, and I do have 1 week in February that we have agreed on as a proposed date for this matter. What we're proposing is a 4-day hearing. They're done in the evenings, so it'd only be the evenings. The week of February 20th, although I was just informed that February 20th is a county holiday, so maybe that would be the 21st to the 25th. Oh, not 25th, excuse me. Correct.
That would only be a 4-day.
Correct.
Does that sound
Yes, 4-day.
That works for me.
Can be there.
Are we just agreeing on a date? Is that the purpose
You
of
said
the
you're going to take 4 days? Or
Yes,
2?
the county is anticipating taking 2 days, and the union is anticipating taking 2 days.
And then start time would be 5:30. We'll probably stop at 9 or 9:30. Depending on what the weather's like, because we have some people traveling that ways.
Yeah, traditionally it's been 9 to 9:30.
Well, we have a new commissioner, so be informative here. So. Go to those dates work for you?
These are consecutive days, right?
Ideally, if we needed to, we
Okay.
could break them up, but
Well, I have an issue with 1 day, but then if I can schedule whatever I need to do, then I will. I've done that before, so this is fine. But I'll let the HR know.
thank you.
And do you have alternative dates lined up just in case you can't get 4 in a row?
The union council did not provide alternative dates. I have dates that I can discuss with you now, but I can't be sure that opposing counsel would be available.
Hey, Veronica, are we able to get the Zoom working?
It looks like I am unmuted if you guys can hear me.
We can now, yes.
Yes.
Okay. My name is Courtney Hawkins. I'm with SEIU Local 521. I caught the tail end of the dates that was offered by council. I thought that I heard February 25th. Is that what I heard correctly?
21st to the 24th?
21st to 24th. That actually fits the availability, our availability as well.
Sounds like we got it locked in then. Subject to something happening that changes it.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll go with that.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We'll move on down now to 9147, a scheduling conference for hearing for correctional officers.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Wiley Driscoll, and I will probably be representing the county at the hearing on this matter. It's the plan as of now.
And good evening, I'm Roger Wilson. I plan on representing the two corrections officers.
So we do have two different hearings, not terribly related. So we'll start with setting the first one. I spoke with co-counsel earlier about this. Given my commitments between the holidays coming up and witness prep time, probably can't get to this until mid-February to March. And now that you've got one set for February 21st, so we were probably looking at something in March. So I'll let Roger speak to this, but just looking at the calendar, maybe do one the week beginning Monday the 13th, and maybe do the next one the next week, the 20th of March.
Is this a 2-day?
Okay, you're talking two separate incidents, so you'd want to block in 4 days for the week of, 3 or 4 days for the week of the 13th, and then a separate, they're two hearings.
Correct. And I think that they would probably be more towards 3 days.
Okay, but if we schedule the 4th day, then we don't plan a golf date. So,
That would probably be smart.
right, okay. My golfing,
I agree with that. I think we could do them in 3 days, but
okay, so you're proposing one hearing 13th through the 16th and one hearing the 20th through the 23rd of March, correct?
yes, that's correct.
Yes.
I'm available.
I'm available.
Tom?
Yeah, I don't like the idea of back-to-back weeks. That's, I can maneuver a schedule with a little bit of a break in between, but, back-to-back weeks, consecutive evenings, Monday through Thursday is a little rough for me.
It gets rough for everybody. Would the last, that's him. How about the last week of March?
Just 1 second.
Yeah, I can't do the last week of March. I'm starting a 2-week trial March. Could I propose the week starting March 6th, and skip a week and do the second one starting March 20th?
That works for me.
That would be good for me as well.
Yeah, starting on that Monday. We're anticipating 2 to 3 days.
Give me the days again, please.
That would be the 6th through the, well, if we were going to do an emergency day on the end, so the 6th through the 9th, and then the 20th through the 23rd.
That works for me.
Okay, here again, I'm gonna have to do the same thing because I know that a couple of those days I'm gonna be tied up, but if I have to schedule whatever I need to do, I can do it. It all depends on I know I'm gonna have a different type of meeting other than civil service, but I will let HR know.
As of right now, it works for me.
The 20th is President's Day. Is that any conflict?
Oh, that might be an issue.
We're in March.
No.
Oh,
we're
March,
Never
March,
mind.
I'm sorry.
They only get one day. They don't get two.
Used to.
Okay, the week of the 6th through the 9th and the week of the 20th through the 23rd works for me.
I can be there.
That work?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, good for me.
All right, well, we'll lock those in for now and see what happens.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Aren't we accommodating? We're so sweet.
I'll just wait till they try to change something.
Oh, yeah,
Then the accommodation stops.
oh, yeah. Well, and it depends on who brings the pizza.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, we'll move on now to item 9139, a hearing for reallocation of district attorney administrative specialist.
Yes, good evening, Commissioner Sabrina Mendez, Department of Human Resources. What we are bringing before you is in reference to Madera County Code 2.57.060, Rule 3-10, which allows for a review of a classification if requested. The District Attorney's Office and Ms. Noblock requested a review of her position of District Attorney Administrative Specialist, and after review by our office of Ms. Noblock's position description questionnaire, we did determine that she is performing duties as a legal secretary too. We're requesting approval for the reallocation of the position of District Attorney Administrative Specialist to Legal Secretary 2, and to grant Ms. Noblock direct status to the position. Assistant District Attorney Jeff Duprat and Ms. Noblock are present to answer any questions if needed. Thank you.
Please come to the podium.
Oh.
Do we have any questions?
Well, I did, but it's a minor point. I'm all in favor of this. It says it has a fiscal impact.
That will be reviewed by the Board of Supervisors.
Well, I see that, but is that going to be a major thing, or is that a fairly minor thing? I know what counties pay, so.
Okay, please introduce yourself, please.
Certainly. Jeff Duprat, Assistant District Attorney here in Madera County. Work with your elected district attorney right directly for Sally Moreno. Thank you for having us and considering this. With regard to the fiscal impact, it's been a while since I looked at it. My recollection, please correct me if I'm wrong, it's about $20 per month. It's relatively minor.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's just not going to set the world on fire with that. Okay.
No fires. No fires. And as Ms. Mendez mentioned, we've been doing the analysis, of course, within our own shop, and then they did the analysis for your board, and we've determined that Ms. Noblock is doing a lot of the work that our other legal secretaries do. We can get into the details. I won't bore you with those unless you want to hear that. Of course, Ms. Noblock's here. She's in support of this as well.
I'd like to comment and thank our admin staff here for providing so much detail. Several reports that we can go off of that kind of quench the curiosity of a lot of questions. So with that, I'm ready to move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for approval. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes,
We have a 5-0 vote to approve.
thank you.
Thank
for
you.
coming in.
Spend that extra $20.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
Okay, we'll move on to item 9141, consideration to adopt classification specification for Assistant County Administrative Officer.
Yes, Human Resources, on behalf of the Department of County Administration, is proposing to create the classification of Assistant County Administrative Officer. After assessing the needs of the department, it was determined a classification was needed to oversee and manage multiple divisions of the department. The incumbent will assist in the day-to-day operations of the County Administrative Office, including county-wide functions and programs. County or CAO Jay Varney is present to answer any questions you may have. I did also want to note that this class is unrepresented and therefore does not require bargaining unit approval.
Please introduce yourself, Mr. Varney.
I'm not used to being on this side of the dais. Jay Varney, County Administrative Officer. This position in terms of in our organizational structure was previously approved by the board. However, as you know, since it's coming in front of you today, it does not exist. This classification does not exist. So at this time, if this is approved by the Civil Service Commission, then we'd be doing a recruitment. It would probably be internal recruitment only between the two deputy CAOs for this position, and then whoever gets this position, their deputy CAO position would go vacant till such time as we are able to fund that position. That could be a few budget years from now. So in terms of structure, it is at this point with the complexity of government, we need someone who's the designated number two. Having two sort of number twos who are specifically named in terms of their duties is not very conducive to offering services, frankly, because if we strictly interpreted things, Darren should only be doing legal and risk management things, and Joel should only be doing finance things, and every day it ends up not being that way. Be happy to answer any questions that you have.
When you change this, split these positions up, whoever you choose to go that route, having that empty position for a couple of years, is that going to be a hardship?
It might be, but we try to tend to make sure that the departments get their positions filled first and take care of the admin stuff at a later date. We're actually staffed, I think, slightly lower than we were, say, back in the Great Recession, 2008, 2009. The hope is at the point when we're able to fund both deputy positions is we will make them much more generalist in what they do so that they'll be able to take on whatever duties we need to assign to them.
Bill, did you have a question?
My only concern, I'm in favor of this, and I'm going to move that we adopt it. My only concern is you have two number twos, and if I were the non-selected number two, and I don't want to see us lose
Sure.
a great employee.
Right. I think we've had enough discussions internally that everyone will be satisfied and remain as an employee pending the outcome of this. Yeah.
Okay, because your department runs really well, so.
Thank you. And it's because of the staff that it runs really well.
Well, I know
So-
that, but I wasn't going to say that, but I make a motion that we accept this, or we approve this position.
I'll second it.
Do we have any other questions?
I don't have any questions.
Entertain a second.
Yeah, I second.
Okay, we have a
I
motion.
did second it.
Did you second it, Joe?
Yes.
Okay. Fine, yielding your second.
I retract my second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second for approval. Roll call?
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Move on down to item 9142, consideration to adopt classification specification for correctional deputy.
Good evening again, Commissioners. This item and the next 4 items being brought before you are related and part of a class series that the Human Resources Department, on behalf of the Sheriff's Office, is proposing to create. The proposed classifications not only adhere to recent legislative changes, but also provide an additional career ladder for individuals pursuing a career in the correctional field. So Sheriff Pogue, I believe. Oh, he just walked out, but I do have Under Sheriff McMecken here to answer any questions if you have any. I also wanted to add that we did note on the agenda that it was pending bargaining unit approval. We did receive approval this morning from both bargaining units, and they do not have any objections to moving forward.
I just have one question. I would assume that this would help for retention of correctional officers. I can't imagine being a correctional officer, but you're not dealing with the nicest people of the county. And so I would assume that this would help with the retention of correctional officers, which would save you, it's gotta cost a fortune to bring on somebody new, so.
That's right. The cost of these added positions, or not added positions, but the difference in classifications would be offset by far and large of the salary savings that we would save from our retention. So that calculation was done by the deputy CAO, the budget guy, and it's all there, and it's definitely in the county's favor as well as our employees' favor to change these classifications. As you know, corrections have become extremely complex with the change in the laws and the sophistication of the criminals that we're housing within our correctional facility. And they are we'll say, a hot commodity. Pretty much statewide, it's hard to recruit and retain correctional officers when, unfortunately, the pay of these positions is so low that it's just one step up from working at In-N-Out Burger. So they take on a lot of responsibility, a lot of danger, and a lot of risk there for, relatively speaking, low funding. And I'd like to introduce, by the way, Assistant Sheriff Brian Estes. He runs the current jail operation, so he's here also to assist.
Do we have any other questions?
I'd like to just comment that these classifications seem to be a more proactive approach rather than getting reallocation requests, because we later find out that people are doing duties above their actual job description. So I appreciate the proactiveness in structuring this.
I appreciate that. Some of these positions, the sworn availability of these positions was as a result of legislative changes sponsored by the county and the sheriff's office to allow for sworn positions within our custody facility. So it gives us a lot more flexibility on the street as far as being able to use them during disasters and some other functions, as well as opportunities for career growth within the facility. As we know, you're happiest within your career as you're promoting through different ranks. So this gives us extra steps for them to promote through and obtain. So it's very positive.
Especially when you understand the roadmap to those promotions. So right. It's clearly laid out. I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, great. We have a motion and a second for approval. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
How do I get one of those back? For the ID thing? The patch, yeah. Can civilians have those?
We'll see how the rest of this meeting goes, sir.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be arrested for stealing it.
If it goes well, I know a guy.
Okay.
This is not a bribe. Huh?
For a fee, you can buy anything. All right, item 9143, consideration to adopt classification specification for correctional corporal post.
Those were all rolled up. Are we?
I did a summary for the initial item, but they are related, but they are separate items that must be voted on separately.
I assume that since they have different numbers.
Yeah.
All right, I move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
Thank you. Item 9145, consideration to adopt classification specification correctional lieutenant post.
Oh.
Same
I
purpose.
think, yes, but I think we missed 9144.
Commissioner?
Correctional
Brian,
Sergeant.
Did I miss it?
Yes,
I
you
went-
did.
I highlighted it and then I went to the next one. Sorry.
Thank
We'll
you.
go back up a step here and go to 9144, consideration to adopt classification specification correctional sergeant. And
Move to approve.
Second.
we have a motion to second to approve. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson,
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood,
Yes.
and Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
Now we'll do 9145, consideration to adopt classification specification correctional lieutenant post.
I move to approve.
We have a second?
Second.
Go. Motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Perez,
Yes.
Commissioner Iverson.
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
Thank you. Item 9146, consideration to adopt classification specification for correctional captain post.
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Iverson.
Yes.
Commissioner Perez.
Yes.
Commissioner Rios,
Yes.
Commissioner Atwood.
Yes.
Commissioner Fry.
Yes.
We have a 5-0 vote to adopt.
All right. Thank you very much. Mr. Pogue, we appreciate you coming down and explaining these things to us.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 4, staff reports. Doing an exciting NHR.
Good evening, Commissioners. Roman Noriega, Human Resources, and it is my absolute pleasure to officially welcome Beverly Iverson to the Civil Service Commission. Welcome, Beverly.
And she got her feet wet real quick. That's it?
That is all we have.
All right. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Thank you, guys.
We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Yeah. Serves a good purpose.
It's going to be a busy February, March, huh?
Well,
The
for now.
money will be flowing in. Our mileage. Be cold.
It'll be a bunch.
When are they gonna increase the mileage?
We'll see, Everett.
About the same time that Pilot and the rest of them lowered diesel prices to compare